Hello, and welcome back to the Forgotten ECE. Okay, I was going to try something new, but that sounds silly, but here we are. Hi, I missed you. I hope you missed me too. I know you did. It's okay. You can admit it. Wow. It is already February. It is like halfway through February, easily halfway through February. It is halfway through February, and this is only my second episode. I'm so sorry. It's gonna get better from here on out because I keep promising you that, and I keep not following through. But this isn't a promise. I'm just gonna tell you the way it is. So it's gonna get better from here on out. So I'm glad you're listening, and I'm glad you tuned in today, because I have a new episode. Second episode of season 3. Can you believe that we're on season 3 of the Forgotten ECE? I cannot believe it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for, hanging out with me and still paying attention when I release new episodes, even though it's sporadic. I do truly appreciate you. But today, without further ado, we're going to talk about the independence of school-agers. Hang tight. Welcome to the Forgotten ECE, the show where before and after school educators, summer camp and PD staff and CYWs have a place where they are seen, heard, and valued. I'm your host, Jamie Wegler, and I am so excited you're here. Okay. Can we just say the thing out loud? I'm going to say it. Moving from preschool to school age is an identity crisis. Honestly, going from being in a college for early child education or a university program for early child education and then moving into a school age program, it is really an identity crisis because you're learning so holistically about preschool, toddler, infant, children, maybe kindergarten. You very rarely touch on school age and what that looks like. In preschool, you are needed constantly. Trust me, that's why I didn't last in preschool very long. Someone needs help opening yogurt. Someone is crying. Someone forgot how sleeves work. Someone is emotionally unraveling because the blue cup is gone. These are big problems, and you matter every 42 seconds of the day, probably more than that. Then you move into school age, and suddenly no one needs help with their yogurt. Not usually, maybe at the beginning. No one wants your crafts. And when you say, hey, I set up an activity, they say, no thanks. 6, 7. I don't know what else they're saying. That's all I got. Excuse me, I used to be essential. That's how you'd be feeling. That's how I feel. Excuse me. Hi, me. Remember me? Your teacher? Your favorite person? Remember me? Please don't forget about me. But now they're building forts and ignoring me. What happened? Well, I like to call it the independent shock. You go from central to this room to, I appear to be optional. And if you don't understand development, that can feel personal and almost as if you're being attacked. It can feel like I'm not engaging enough. It can feel like I'm not good at this. It can feel like they don't like what I plan, and do they even need me here? And you start second guessing whether or not you should be a school age educator. Well, listen, just because they don't need you the same way preschoolers did doesn't mean that they don't need you. It's developmentally appropriate for them to be different in that way. So, what actually changes? Let's ground it in science for a second. Self-determination theory, developed by DC and Ryan, tells us that humans are motivated by 3 core psychological needs. Do you remember what they are? Quiz time. 1, autonomy. 2, competence. And 3, relatedness. So, first, autonomy. I get to choose what I want to do. Competence, I feel capable to make those choices and to do what I want to do. And last, relatedness is I belong. So for preschoolers, they're still building basic regulation and attachment systems. Their autonomy is emerging, but it's fragile. They still need adult scaffolding constantly. School-age kids, on the other hand, I should say children. I got yelled at the other day for posting my thing and we're saying kids. So I apologize. Fixing that now. School-age children, their autonomy drive has exploded. They're wired to choose their friends, to choose their activities, to test their independence, to test your patience, and to develop personal identity all at the same time. So when they ignore your carefully planned slime station, who am I kidding? No one would ignore slime. Slime's the greatest. It's not disrespect. And it's not to hurt your feelings, it's autonomy. And autonomy is a sign of healthy development. I hear so many people when I consult say they just want to do their own thing. Yeah, you're correct. That's the point. Between the ages of 4 and 12, children shift from this adult-oriented attachment to peer-oriented social development. Their nervous system isn't scanning for you the way it used to. It's scanning for, okay, who's in my group? What's our idea for the next little bit? How do I fit in here? How do I not say something that's going to make them laugh at me? Or I'm in a funny mood, I want them to laugh. What can I say to make it funny here? If you're still running the room like a preschool, whole group directions, everyone rotating, teacher-led flow, you're going to feel constant friction. And honestly, it's for the best because that is not what is developmentally appropriate. Development here has moved forward. It's time for you to do the same. It's time for the programming to catch up. And I mean that in the nicest way. Please don't take offense. So the other thing that comes hand in hand with this is putting out materials for crafts or thinking about activities to do, and they've rejected the craft, rejection, trauma. We're going to talk about it for a moment. You spend time setting up the table to look nice, your labeled bins, your Pinterest level organization. You announce it. Hey, y'all, we're going to do a free full art. It's here on the table. Help yourself. Silence. One child walks over and looks at it and says, do we have to do this? Ooh, that one hit hard. Here's the reframe. Your job in school-age programming is not to produce participation. It is to produce possibility. If 2 children engage deeply for 30 minutes, that's a success. They can take it wherever they want to go. It is their choice, and you're providing them a safe place to take those risks and to work on those choices, to develop that autonomy. There's depth over volume in this. Preschool success looks like everyone did it or everyone had fun. School age success looks like some children extended it and it got to go into a project. We got to try something new. They led this and we got to see where it goes. Oh, the other thing, offering versus directing. This will take some philosophical shifting. If you're in old school preschool days, which you really shouldn't be, but if you are, and you're saying, everyone come to the carpet, we're doing this together, and then you try that with school agers, it's not gonna be interesting. It's not going to go over well. School age language is, I set up a challenge at the table if anyone's interested. I'm curious what you've built with this. Let me see what you're doing. Offering communicates respect. Directing communicates control. And here's something a little bit uncomfy. If we feel anxious when they don't comply, that's about our need for control, not their need for growth. So sorry. That's big because autonomy supportive environments, again, backed by this self-determination research, I'm not just yelling, I have a point, produces higher intrinsic motivation, better problem solving, and stronger long-term engagement. Compliance produces what? Short-term order? We don't want that. We want autonomy. We want children to make choices and be free to pick on what they want to do, to choose their activities, to follow their interests and their leads, and make a safe place for them to do that. So, I know what you're thinking. What am I supposed to do all day then? The existential crisis portion of the episode. If you're not directing, if you're not leading group time, if you're not planning quote unquote crafts, if you're not helping tying shoes, what's your role? Well, here's the shift, and here's what my favorite part is. You now move from the performer to the architect. You design the environments. You observe the group dynamics. You coach social problem solving. You scaffold executive functioning. And then you help them reflect on that. School-age educators are mentors, not cruise directors. You're building conditions where the children get to practice negotiation. They handle boredom. They resolve conflict. They manage frustration. They initiate ideas. That is the complex developmental work. It's just quieter than you're used to. Children are taking what they're learning in our programs and they're going out and being incredible humans. They're being kind. They're being confident. They take risks. They get messy. They make mistakes. And they learn from them because you provide them a safe place to do that. And they think it's okay because it is okay. And that's what we want. Now let's get a little practical because autonomy does not mean chaos. It means a structured freedom. And this is how that works. First, plan in layers. You don't want to overwhelm yourself or the school-agers. Always have open-ended materials available. Add optional invitations. Create long-term project options. Not everything has to be an event, but base these invitations off what you've noticed in the classroom. 2, soft launch ideas. You don't have to announce everything like it's an assembly. Just set it up and let curiosity do its work. Let them explore. Let them see how to use the materials you've brought for them. Next, build from their interest. If they're obsessed with Pokemon, use it. Are people still obsessed with Pokemon? They must be. I feel like I've been out of practice. I'm not out of practice. Probability games, card designs, character writing, tournament brackets, budget math for trading. You're not chasing these trends. You're leveraging them for motivation. When I was in the school age program last year, we were super excited about Fortnite, whether or not it was developmentally appropriate for them to be playing Fortnite at home. Not my problem, their families. But I knew they were interested. So we ended up making our own Fortnite characters and designed a battlefield for them to battle royale. Now, it only lasted about a week. Well, I shouldn't say only. It lasted about a week, which was incredible. And it could have gone further. We could have made it into a 3D model. We could have made their characters into 3D models. We could have used a kiln or air drying clay and then painted them and then battled. Throw on some Beyblades and you have yourself a date. Last and possibly most important thing that you can do to help plan without control is redefine what success is to you. Instead of looking at it as how many participated, think about who went deep within. Think about what social skills were emerging. Think about what conflicts were navigated and who invited who to play. There's growth that lives here. You just have to be able to find it. Open your eyes and see it. It might not look like it did in preschool, but it's there. Now, the emotional truth. Let's get emotional. Okay, sorry. Here's what's really happening underneath all of this. In preschool or in college and university when you were learning, you felt needed. In school age, you have to be intentional. And intentional impact doesn't always feel emotionally loud. But don't confuse the quiet for unimportant. Because when a 9-year-old comes to you for advice instead of tattling, that's growth. And when a group negotiates rules without you stepping in, that's development. When they reject your activity but later borrow materials to adapt it, that's autonomy. They might not need you to open their yogurt anymore, but they need you to help them become people. And that is so much bigger. If you're in this transition right now and you're thinking, I miss being needed, I get it. I'm not telling you your feelings are wrong because they're not. It is a hard adjustment. But here's how you can reframe that. They don't need you the way the preschoolers did. They need you in a way that prepares them for the rest of their lives. The question isn't why don't they want my activity? The question is, am I creating a space where autonomy, competence, and belonging and curiosity can grow? Because when those needs are met, you won't have to chase engagement. It'll show up on its own. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or comments about today's episode, please feel free to reach out. And if you're feeling this emotional tug, I would be happy to chat with you about it. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, happy learning. Hi, Hi, Forgotten ECE listeners. Before we wrap up, I need to tell you about something I am so excited about. North of Ordinary, the Summer Camp Leadership Retreat is officially open for registration, and the early bird pricing is available now until March 1st. This is not your generic leadership training. This is immersive, practical training for school-age leaders, for school-age educators, for summer camp and recreational staff who actually work with school-age children. Yay! If you're leading mixed age groups, if you're trying to build sustainable systems, if you want programming that actually works and you're tired of reactive firefighting, this retreat is for you. We'll be together June 12th to 14th at the Hidden Acres Camp in Ontario for 2 nights, immersive leadership sessions and real applicable tools you can bring back to your team immediately. Early bird pricing ends March 1st. Don't miss it. Head to MissJamieConsulting.com/Camp North to secure your spot. That's MissJamieConsulting.com/Camp North to secure your spot. Let's elevate your camp and let's elevate your leadership. Thank you, amazing listeners, for your support. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at MissJamie_RECE. Give a star rating and leave a review. Have something you want to hear about in relation to before and after school programs or full day summer camp? DM me or comment. Again, thank you so much and happy learning.